Hello, darlings, and welcome to CareOffBook. It's me, Care Darling, and today we have, I guess, a part 2 to this Broadway theater drama. I feel like drama isn't the right word. If you're confused of what I'm talking about, I did do an episode on it. It's the one that says "not a friend," and Patti had some very choice words to say about Kecia Lewis and also Audra McDonald. So I do recommend watching that episode and then catching up here. So on May 30th, there was another open letter, and listen, I recommend to go read the letter because when I first heard about it, my initial reaction was like, why are they doing this? Like, why are they like trying to go after Patti? But that is not what the letter is about. The letter wasn't necessarily like, this is to you, Patti, but it was about the situation, which I think is fair. And it was more about like, I think we can all do better and stuff. So I recommend reading the letter. I'm going to go ahead and summarize it in my opinion. The letter is a public call for accountability and care within Broadway industry, especially in light of Patti LuPone's comments about Kecia Lewis and Audra McDonald. The authors condemn LuPone's derogatory remarks, calling Lewis a B as racist, misogynistic, and a deeper pattern of abuse and microaggressions in theater. They argue that public figures who harm others should not be shielded by fame or legacy and call for clear consequences, including exclusion from major events unless accountability is demonstrated. The letter also calls out the broader cultural issue of excusing harmful behavior in the arts, referencing figures like Scott Rudin and Will Smith to show that other industries have enforced accountability. People in the Broadway community who did sign stress that this is not about canceling, but about protecting artists, especially Black women, and upholding values like equity, safety, and mutual respect. The community demands that the American Theater Wing and Broadway League take immediate action and establish stronger accountability measures, including anti-bias training and transparent policies. They close by affirming support for artists like Kecia and Audra and commit to a vision of a safer, more equitable Broadway for all. Now listen, I definitely have thoughts and opinions, but I don't think that's helpful as far as like what the letter is trying to achieve and their goals. And so I might share it within the comment section, but as far as like sharing it in the video, it's just, that's not the point. The point is for us to have like a better Broadway community. Now, guess what? Patti responded.
Are you kidding me?
And I was shocked. I didn't think that this would happen, but it did, and I'll read it. For as long as I have worked in the theater, I have spoken my mind and never apologized. That is changing today. I am deeply sorry for the words I used during the New Yorker interview, particularly about Kecia Lewis, which were demeaning and disrespectful. I regret my flippant and emotional responses during the interview, which were inappropriate, and I am devastated that my behavior has offended others and has run counter to what we hold dear in this community. I hope to have the chances to speak to Audra and Kecia personally to offer my sincere apologies. I wholeheartedly agree with everything that was written in the open letter shared yesterday. From middle school drama clubs to professional stages, theater has always been about lifting each other up and welcoming to those who feel they don't belong anywhere else. I made a mistake, I take full responsibility for it, and I am committed to making this right. Our entire theater community deserves better. Patti LuPone. So people have responded to this in different ways. Some people feel that Patti's apology is genuine. Some feel like, oh, it's a PR thing written up for her. Her comments under the apology seem to be positive, but then there are comments under those comments saying, hey, this apology isn't for you, and it's not on you to say whether you accept it or not. It's for a different community. Now, I will insert like my thoughts and opinions, and here's the thing. Just because you have an opinion doesn't make it the truth. It's your truth, and that's fair. You have every right to say how you feel. You have every right to like acknowledge whatever you want. You have a right to apologize or not apologize. And I think ultimately the goal is just to have a better Broadway community. And so it's not my place to kind of like jump in and be like, well, I think we need to, make this right and do this and do that. I think the point for me is to come in, listen. Yes, I have my own thoughts, but then to think of the bigger picture and just think, okay, how can I do better? Now, there is something I want to talk about. It's about the future, okay? Now, to make it all make sense as far as, because I would love to know your thoughts, I have a prediction. So in the open letter, the best way I can like truly sum it up is that it's a great message and Patti LuPone is the example. And in the letter, they were saying, you know, pretty much like, please Broadway, stop rewarding bad behavior. Don't invite Patti LuPone to fundraisers. Don't invite her to the Tony Awards.
The Tony! Tony!
And that's what I want to talk about because, okay, I have a prediction. This is what I think is going to happen. And I feel like it's just going to be another little like, oh dear moment, okay? I have a feeling that Patti LuPone, first off, she's not nominated for anything, correct? So I have a feeling that she doesn't really care about the Tony Awards. And so she's going to disinvite herself.
Oh. That's it, I'm not going.
And be like, you know what, this letter had a point, I'm not going to go. Now, I think people are going to be upset that Patti disinvited herself from the Tonys because she did it on her own terms versus the Tony saying, Patti, you're not allowed to come here, right? Because I think people would feel better being like, yay, they finally did something, instead of Patti being the one being the bigger person, being like, you know what, I hear you, I'm doing this. So that's just like my prediction as far as something that's going to go down. Now, listen, I am going to watch the Tony Awards. If she does show up, it will also be another like interesting, you know, like reaction from people seeing that. This is why I don't think the Tonys is going to disinvite Patti LuPone. This is great press. People are now going to tune in to see if Patti is there. And if she is, there's going to be a lot of comments, and to me, it's like pretty much if they have the engagement and the buzz, like that's all they really care about. So yeah, that's my thoughts. I would love to know yours. Anyway, darlings, thank you for hanging out with me in this episode. I know I definitely have more opinions and thoughts, but like I said, this letter, I feel like is so much bigger than us. And the point is like, we just want a better Broadway community. And if that's the goal, I'm happy with that goal. And so that's how I want to move forward.
So be cool. Don't be all like uncool. Why?
If you love talking about musicals, Disney, and other performances, oh my gosh, you come to the right girl. Don't forget to like and subscribe and listen. I'll see you in the next episode.